think eventually I'll get like an intro video to go along with this, so they're not just staring at an image of the Beerfield logo until the can pops.
I look so confused.
Check out the YouTube channel and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Why were you talking over the entire intro?
And welcome back to Beerfield Fantasy Football.
It seemed like
I was going to get into that in just a moment. Welcome back to Beerfield Fantasy Football. We are back here with more quarterbacks. I'm confused as to why Hopper was talking over the entire intro for you guys, because I appreciate listening to it myself.
Welcome back to Beerfield Fantasy Football. I wanted to get it in there too.
All three of us need to.
All around. Cheers.
Hey, we got video now. We can actually cheers.
We're on 3 and 4. So we're on tiers 3, 4, and 5. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough episode. There's a couple guys in tier 3 who I'm going to appreciate. That's going to be about it. Let's hit a beer preview and then start wading through this mess.
Beer fuel.
I will never change this drop.
Oh, and thankfully we're down to just one person who can sue us now.
So far.
Not quite.
Not
we
quite.
still
Let's
got
wait till White Lightning comes back.
Yeah, there's still
we
White
still
Lightning.
got Cadillac 3 and
Sarah McLachlan?
Sarah McLachlan.
No, that'll never change.
I almost said Sarah Bareilles, but I know that wasn't right. That's the love song person.
Yes.
We don't have that drop. Although maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
I should tell Blake I'm not going to write him a love song.
Yeah, you are.
We're on a first name basis now.
Obviously.
So we've got Epic Brewing's New England style IPA called Praise the Haze.
That sounds like a porn title name.
It just sounds like
We're just bringing it full circle.
Obviously.
See
Yeah.
Twitter for why that just came up.
Sounds like something Addison Hayes should use as a catchphrase.
Yeah, that also works. We'll give you a full review of that once we get through the tier 3 quarterbacks, because I'm probably going to finish my beer right about that time.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll need it before we get to tier 4.
Let's put it this way. If by the time we get to Logan Woodside, I am not drunk enough to enjoy talking about Logan Woodside, I'm doing it wrong.
Think of it this way. For those of you that watched our due diligence episode for or for free agency, we'll
This won't be
we'll
quite that
appreciate
bad.
the drunkenness.
This
Did
won't
that
be that
actually
bad.
get posted? I didn't see it on Twitter.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
It did.
Did the tweet not go over?
I didn't see one.
Yeah, I had some weird stuff happen with that. But yes, it is posted because
Okay.
I listened to it on Friday.
So anyone subscribed to it, you heard the episode. It's probably better we don't actually publicize that episode exists.
No, we need to.
Let's not put it on Twitter and see how many listens it gets. Then we can compare.
Well, they're already tweeting about us on there. About it.
Somebody listened. JD.
Shout out to JD Hunter.
Shout out JD Hunter.
Oh, what did he say?
He said he enjoyed the shit show because the Saturday was super hungover.
He got to listen to us while he got to
And he
listen to our
quoted me.
incoming.
He quoted me for something about
Richard Sherman being a
Sherman and
predator.
predators.
Being a predator or something like that.
Anyways,
I didn't even catch
appreciate
that,
the love, bro.
but
Appreciate.
I have
the
no
love.
memory of that, but let's
I don't.
All
Need
right.
let's get on to tier 3 quarterbacks here. Up first, we've got Quentin Flowers and Kyle Laletta coming in at 6.3 out of 9.
He's just going to completely cuck my drop here.
Sorry, go ahead and drop.
You don't
Draft
block this
preview.
job ever.
I don't actually know. I don't know how to play.
Who knows what we're doing?
I don't know how to play a flute. I could be playing a flute. I could be eating Subway. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with the hand
You're doing
motions.
the 5 to 5.
I'm not sure you're
$5
supposed to
for
eat
one.
the Subway from the side.
All the cartoon people.
Anyway,
do
it's
it.
Quentin Flowers.
Yes.
Anyway, if you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Beerfield Fantasy Football on YouTube.
Yep, all episodes
All
will now be
episodes are
posted
now
there.
there. Now we can talk about Quentin Flowers.
All right, so let's talk about Quentin Flowers, who I would star as the most likely positional convert.
Wait.
in this draft.
But before we do that, I'm kidding. You can keep going.
Nick's gonna kill somebody.
Yep, this is the problem with the back-to-back episodes as shit starts to come off the rails. So,
The best part about
Quentin
it.
Flowers, highly athletic. He tested best at the combine, mainly because Lamar Jackson didn't test. So, what do we think about him?
I'm intrigued if for some reason he gets playing time. I don't think he'll get. He's too small. He's 6 foot, 195. I think he's not that big.
He did work out with running backs also.
He comes in at 216. He's not quite
Okay,
that
so
small.
he's not that small. So he's basically,
Or
I guess,
210. Sorry, I was looking at Jackson.
so basically he's like Darius Geis' type of size.
Yeah, if I remember right, though, he did work with running backs or something like that at the combine. He worked with another position group. Might have been wide receivers.
I
didn't
missed that.
He did
but-
drills with them, but he didn't just work with quarterback.
Okay.
His tape, he looked okay. You got to see he is very mobile. Obviously, a guy who's, he's going to be
Yeah.
some chance. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
No, you're right though. Players in college history with 40 plus rushing touchdowns in under 45 games. It's him and Lamar Jackson. That's it.
That's it.
So
kind of a new breed of quarterback we're looking at here.
yeah, it is, and I think that from an arm talent standpoint, he hasn't shown the improvements that Lamar Jackson has, but his floor is about where Lamar Jackson is right now because that's what he's consistently been throughout his college career. But he's mobile, he's athletic, he's got a decent arm, accuracy's average, and he throws with a good base. He can deliver it to all parts of the field, but he's a bit undersized. He's not the type of pocket passer.
He's a one read and go.
Read and go.
This is a guy. We may have knocked Watson on this last year for it, but you can see with him, he can go through his reads. He does show that ability, but a lot of these quarterbacks can. So it's okay. But for him is that he didn't play in a Power 5 school. He played against really weak competition, and the fact that he's undersized, he's not that big. And if he's already trying out at other positions at the combine, you may see a position change with him.
Yeah, he's definitely athletic enough to play another position. The one note I had about him, different than what you guys had said, he's one of the only players I've ever seen who is more accurate outside the numbers than inside, which was very strange.
It's a little bit
pretty
with Josh
weird.
Allen a little bit.
Yeah, Josh Allen did that a little bit too.
I put a note on. I should have said it on the last episode that he looks more comfortable outside the pocket than inside it.
No, outside the numbers.
throwing
Okay.
to the sidelines.
Yeah, he was better at throwing to the sidelines than he was down the middle of the
And,
field.
and a lot of people, it's the opposite for almost everybody.
Yeah, it's the
I
opposite
agree.
of Rosen.
Yep.
It's a little bit of Rudolph.
So I didn't quite understand it, but there was definitely, he flashed enough and he has enough athletic upside that if he ends up sticking at quarterback, he could be interesting for fantasy purposes at some point.
If he gets a chance.
He's very Lamar Jackson light, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't like comparing people to other people in the same draft, but that's really the only comparison you can draw.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone who's actually stuck at the QB position in the NFL who I could compare him to.
Yeah, and the numbers were comparable. Lamar Jackson was, 4,600 yards and 50 touchdowns? No, 4,163 and 50 touchdowns. And Quentin Flowers was 3,672 and 41 touchdowns on the ground.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he definitely flashes it on film. I don't expect him to stick at QB, but if he does, he's definitely a name to know.
He's my only true dart throw in all these quarterbacks.
Just
because
around.
My dart throw's coming up still.
I think I might have one.
I think it might be the same guy.
Could be. We talked about this earlier, didn't we? Or
Yeah.
a couple days ago? Okay.
All right.
Teaser. That's what we in the business call a preview. Keep listening.
Up next, Kyle Laletta. He comes in. He's a little bit smaller, but overall accurate, decently athletic. Everything comes up at least average, but unfortunately there was nothing that was elite. So it's a lot of just solid, but nothing amazing.
This was my Nathan Peterman guy.
That makes a lot
It
of
was
sense.
him. It was him. I got to mix up. I got the K's mixed up.
He's a little bit more athletic than Peterman, but otherwise that's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah. Pretty accurate, lacks arm strength. My favorite part about him was actually the fact that no announcer could seem to say his name right. If you watch the videos with sound. You got Loretta, Law School, Laedra, Lauderdale, Laundry Detergent. I don't know what all they call them, but nobody could seem to get it right.
A day to remember if you're listening, there's a song idea in there somewhere.
Yeah.
All signs point to Loretta.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys think of him overall? I thought for a small school guy, he was at least interesting.
He's interesting in the fact that his career NFL backup can be interesting. Cooper Rush is a guy that kind of comes to mind when I saw him.
Cooper Rush had a better arm, though, didn't he?
It didn't look like it in college. No, it looked like he was just kind of a pop gun style player, and then he got into the league and played really well and won the Cowboys backup job. But he was a guy that when we watched him last year, he didn't flash anything on tape. He flashed some accuracy. Everything just looked kind of average.
I will 100% admit I did not watch Cooper Rush's tape last year.
No, you didn't. I think I was the only one that did before he got into preseason.
That is true.
So I think there's some of that there. I think he could come in and play well enough and win a backup job someplace. But from a fantasy standpoint, no reason to.
No, move on.
All right, we got to get to the only player that we have an asterisk on. That is Nick Shimonek.
Shimonek.
He comes in at the same grade at 6.3, but that's because only Hopper and I were the only two to review him.
I watched the one game that got posted on YouTube. I already told myself if I can't watch more than 3 games on him, I'm not going to rate him.
I had to, but it kind of was with an asterisk anyway. Of there wasn't enough tape on him to really review. He had a strong combine. Numbers were good. What you did see, he has the tools to at least be league average, and that's as a starter. Size, arm accuracy, athleticism. He showed poise in the hurry up.
Yep.
The only thing that, both long range and short throws appeared to be pretty easy. It was an air raid offense, though.
It was the same situation that Mahomes came out of.
Yep, exactly the same situation. I did notice that every time he missed a throw, his body language looked like he ran over his dog.
I did not notice
sad?
that, but
So the reason that I saw that, right, is because there wasn't specific tape on him. I actually pulled just a couple of Texas Tech games from this year and watched and skipped around the videos and watched some of their offensive drives and whatnot.
I did that with Flowers. I should have did that with Jim and Nick more.
Yeah. That's when I saw some of that. If he missed a throw, he looked like you ran over his dog.
So some questions about his mental game.
Yeah, his body language was very Cutler-esque.
Yes.
So, except not don't care. Like, I'm extremely disappointed. How could this happen to me?
My life is horrible.
My life is over.
How could this happen to me?
How can this happen to me?
I've made my mistakes. Got nowhere to run. Life goes on as I'm faded away.
Beerfield sings along.
Beerfield sing along. His arm strength was good enough though that I think somebody's going to take a shot at him. Probably late day 3.
6th, 7th round.
I think he's going to surprise some people.
If not, then a UDFA to look out for. Because every now and then they hit. Every now and then they get in the right system.
Hey,
And,
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
Sorry, I had 2 kind of dart throws. This is one of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The other one's the one we agree on, I'm pretty sure.
The next one up is Chase Litton.
He is not one of them.
No, he's not.
Hello, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, you're hoping for Brock Osweiler plus.
Yeah.
Not real athletic overall. Giant 6'6".
Yep.
Good arm. Other than that, he's pretty average in terms
He
of
did
accuracy.
one thing
and-
for me. One thing. That's to make, I forgot his first name, but Brady stand out, the receiver.
Yes. They're number 1 receiver there in Marshall.
Fuck. I forgot his name.
I'll look it up.
It's like Ken. Either
I
way.
should know this. Anyway, yeah, he didn't do a whole lot that was great. Decision making needs polished. Mechanics weren't good. Closed base, no drive on his lower body.
It's Tyree Brady, by the way.
Yeah, Tyree Brady.
Arm strength, ball placement, accuracy. They're all okay. Not a lot of difference from throwing it in the pocket versus outside of the pocket, but ultimately, you're hoping for Osweiler plus.
Yeah, there was a few things he did that I thought made him possibly a better prospect than Osweiler, and I think somebody's going to fall in love with how big and strong his arm is. But
You've got such big, strong arms, Chase.
that's an NFL GM there out there somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't know which one.
The old school GMs. Will
but
figure that
there's
out.
somebody out there.
He's got the Ryan Mallett. Boldy's going to New England.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I hope I wouldn't be either.
Live arm, big body, terrible accuracy.
And as soon as New England took him, people would start drooling all over him.
Yep.
He's the replacement of Tom Brady.
He's the next Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Until he gets traded to Baltimore. Fuck me.
All right. So Litton, yeah, there's definitely a few things to be intrigued about by him, but I'm not super excited. Last person in tier 3 here we have got is Danny Etling out of LSU.
This is the other one.
Yeah, he definitely flashed more than I was expecting. A lot of this is kind of the whole LSU doesn't seem to know how to run an offense.
Nope.
But what we did see was at least intriguing.
It was 43 touchdowns to only 19 interceptions. Generally accurate, plays a decent amount under center, so he's kind of got that going for him, which isn't something you see a lot of in college. And he absolutely can find an open guy. He's pretty adept for running at his life as well.
Which he did a lot.
He did that.
His offensive line is fucking garbage.
He had to do that a lot. Sorry, I was confused because the notes I have written down said he's pretty adept at finding an open center instead of wide receiver.
My center's right there, man.
So if he's passing to a center, we might have some problems, but
Yeah, he tested as a decent athlete at the combine. He looked decent on tape.
I drooled on myself.
It was not a plus passing offense, so it's kind of the opposite of like a Texas Tech or Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it is.
And he still produced decently well. Little undersized at 215 pounds at 6'2", so you'd hope for a little bit bigger build on him.
Yeah.
Little old at 23, but overall, I saw enough on tape that he's kind of the last of the guys on my list that I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
he might be something.
Yeah, in a TQB league, he's probably worth a dart throw as a deep stash and hope, pull and pray.
He was the last of my tier 3. The
Pick
fact
and
that
pray.
he took snaps under center just gives me some hope that he can be
A true pro
it's a
style
like
quarterback.
timing route where he can take 3-5 step drops, which is a very common thing in the NFL.
Yeah, and he's accurate
And he actually
enough.
throws
His
it.
arm's good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
He's athletic
He
enough.
flashed some very, very nice throws.
And I think if he was in a more up-tempo, high-powered offense, say if he was in a Big 12 offense like TCU, people would be talking about him more.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it's kind of one of those terrible spot in college to actually develop as a quarterback, but there might be enough there that somebody takes a shot on him.
We shall see.
All right, let's chug some beer and get into a beer review.
Already? Wow, we're going quick.
Beer review.
Playing those violins for us. Thanks.
Air violin. It's the classier air guitar.
For the more sophisticated crowd, air violin.
All right. So we got Epic Brewing's Praise the Haze. It's a New England style IPA, which is actually, I believe, in the last 2 weeks here, been declared an official style for worldwide contests now. For those who aren't familiar, New England style IPAs, they're juicier, less hoppy than your classic East Coast or West Coast style IPAs. Mm-hmm. What'd you guys think of Praise the Haze?
It's very juicy. It's got a decent amount of hoppy taste to it, some bitterness at the end. I love it, though. If you like IPAs and just generally that type of bitterness that you get out of IPAs, that hoppiness that comes along with them, this is fantastic for you.
This would be the type of beer I'd want to use if I was trying to get somebody into IPAs.
Yeah, because it's easy
Yeah.
to drink.
It's very smooth.
It's not harsh, if you will.
Yep, so just get somebody used to a few of these before you start introducing them to the classic style IPAs that are just all
Super
all
dry and
forward
hoppy.
hops.
Yeah.
This juice kind of overwhelms the hops, so you just get a little bit of that bitterness in the back end. Thank you, Epic, for coming on. This is their second time on, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, we've had one of theirs before. They're based out of Utah, and they also have a brewery in Denver. This one was from the Denver location.
Sweet.
So thank you so much for coming on, Epic. Not like you had much of a choice as always.
Right.
No, please.
No, don't have us on the show.
Motherfucker, you're getting free publicity.
Stay away.
All right, but yeah, that's it. I'm going to finish a little bit more of this, and we're going to jump into some Tier 4 guys.
Yikes. Okay, it's time, isn't it?
Yep. So these are two guys who are in a lot of people's top 10s, and I just don't get it.
Oh, Luke
At
Falk.
all.
Luke Falk.
Oh,
Luke
fuck
Falk
him.
and Riley Ferguson.
Oh, God. Excuse me while I go fucking puke.
So Riley Ferguson, I get a little bit more than Luke Falk, but who's the first one we have?
They came in exactly the same
Who do you
score.
want to
Since you have some somewhat okay feelings about Ferguson, let's start with him.
Okay, so Ferguson, I hated the first time I watched his tape. It's kind of the anti-Rosen.
He's my least
I
favorite.
couldn't stand him. Everything was check downs. Anything else he tried to throw looked like it was just god awful. And then I watched him at the combine, where he looked okay in his drills. Things didn't look offline, didn't look bad. And then I went back and rewatched his tape, and his arm strength actually isn't terrible when they let him throw down the field. I think it's kind of in the same realm as Danny Hetling. Some of what he's able to do might have been masked a bit by that offense, because when he did have to throw deep or downfield, he was relatively accurate. The ball placement was on point. But there's some things not to like about his game also. He's definitely not top 10 to me, but release is sometimes flat, bit too much arm. Offense did run a ton of short stuff, so his numbers are inflated. His receivers did a lot of work for him. But the offense ran a lot of screens, a lot of flats. And his decision-making under pressure is incredibly suspect. He doesn't do well under pressure. He's not athletic at all. But I just thought that when he was working downfield instead of on some of this flat crap or whatever, with a clean pocket, he did flash some of the ability to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. His pocket play was and athleticism were my two biggest, and decision making issues. So those are my three biggest knocks on him. If his first read wasn't there, stuff started to fall apart in a hurry.
It did.
The longer he has to hold on to the football, the fucking worse he gets. I put down his first because I watched 3 games from him. I watched both UCF games, which is they were pretty fucking good this year with Shaq Griffin. One game I put down, fuck man, that was bad. And 2, which was the second game, was And it's just how I feel about him when I watch his tape. This is a guy who holds the football too low to his body, strip sacks for sure. It's a slow throwing, a slow release and a short release. So batted down balls or strip sacks is what you're going to get from him.
The one thing that I had that I liked about him was when he threw downfield to that first read that was there, he could get it there. He could get it there on target, and there were some things that looked pretty. But everything you guys are saying are correct, which is why he's down this low.
He also comes in a bit light size-wise, too. 6'2", the height's fine, but only 212 is a little light for an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And then just any time there was any pressure, his lack of athleticism showed he couldn't get away from the pressure. Strip sacks were a concern from him, and it just as soon as the pocket broke down, everything went to hell.
I fucking hated this tape.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst tape I watched. We're going to get to those in a bit.
No, this was my least favorite.
Whew, it was bad. The hype for people were talking about him being a fringe first rounder, and I absolutely do not see it.
Who?
And
what drugs are they on? Please.
It was pre-combine. There were reports coming out about Luke Falk and Ferguson being fringe first rounders.
No, definitely not either of them.
No.
So yeah, his stats are overly inflated, and also Anthony Miller did him a lot of favors.
Oh yes,
yes he did.
Which we will get him to when we get to wide receivers in
a couple weeks,
about 2-3 weeks here. So that's all I really want to talk about Riley Ferguson. If we just do not approve, he has too many holes in his game, and
move on.
And anything that he does that's good isn't elite enough to compensate.
No,
he's a camp body at best.
So let's talk about Luke Falk.
I think he'll end up on a practice squad someplace.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's talk about Luke Falk, who I hate more than Riley Ferguson.
I don't hate him as much.
No, I hate him more than Riley Ferguson.
So, about the only good things about Luke Falk, arm strength and size. So he's a even worse Josh Allen.
Yep.
Because the holes in his games, his decision making is horrendous if he doesn't have the first read. His mechanics are awful.
Where the hell did I even? There
and he ran air raid, and I saw him get sacked multiple times a game in an air raid offense,
which shouldn't happen. He's very upright in the pocket, but it steps into his throws fine. But there's a lot of air under his deeper throws. He's compensating for his, I think he has some arm strength short and intermediate, but I think it starts to go away. At least from what I saw. If he has got to throw something deep, I feel like he puts more air under his ball than maybe you need to.
Yeah, it was all. He had some similar issues to Rudolph where the ball would just float.
Yep, he holds it too long. He doesn't throw with anticipation. He's not dynamic. He nearly killed Maurice Jones-Drew with an errant throw during combine coverage.
He did?
So
that's exactly what MJD needs is more injuries.
Yeah, so negative points for that. He's still getting injured, and he just works for the NFL Network now because of Luke Falk.
Thanks, Luke Falk.
Public enemy number 1.
Yeah, I heard a lot of hype about him, watched his tape. I watched in alphabetical order just so I was like, I don't want any bias in like watching from the top to the bottom and trying to rank him that way, so I'm just going to watch him from A to Z. Got to Falk pretty early and was just like, this is horrendous.
So, disclaimer, I blame watching these guys before Brandon Silvers as to why my Brandon Silvers rank is higher. Because fuck these guys.
No, my Brandon Silvers rank is there's no way in hell. It's
just mine.
Okay.
I'm obviously higher, which we'll get to. But I watched these guys before him. And that's
so
my only talking point with them.
All right.
I fucking hate these guys.
So anything more about Falk and Ferguson?
No.
Just these are two guys we do not like. We don't think I think they're borderline practice squad guys at best.
Yeah.
This is... Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Let's get to Tier 5 quarterbacks. These are they do not belong in the NFL category.
And one of them will end up, at least one of the remaining guys will end up on a practice squad someplace.
All right. We've got Logan Woodside and Brandon Silvers.
Oh, sorry. Did we not talk about Tanner Lee anywhere?
I completely How did I miss Tanner Lee? Tanner Lee would have ended up in tier 4 just above.
Well, let's talk Tanner Lee.
Let's talk
then.
Tanner Lee.
Lee.
Big arm. Enough said.
Because you said 3 guys or 2 guys left or 3 guys left. And like, okay, Tanner Lee's got to be there. He'll catch on to a practice squad someplace.
Yeah, I must have missed Tanner Lee when I was prepping this.
Okay.
Tanner Lee would have been tier 4 at the very bottom of it.
So Tanner Lee, he's got a really, really big arm. He makes some throws that make you say, wow, how the hell did he do that? And he makes some other ones where you're just, wow, what the hell did he see there?
Yep.
No one knows where the hell the ball is going to go when it leaves his hand. He doesn't even know. He just corks back and throws it, and it may be beautiful, it may be on point, or it may be in a defender's hands, or it may be in the third row in Bertha's lap with her bucket of popcorn.
So he's
Nobody
Matt
knows.
Saracen. He just throws with his eyes closed and say, fuck it.
Saracen's more accurate.
We're doing it live.
If he admitted to throwing with his eyes closed, I would suddenly understand what was going on.
Yeah,
You're going to bump up to tier 3.
it would make sense. I would bump him up. His footwork is way off, which probably plays some into that. They can do whatever. He might be hopping on one leg. He may be doing the splits. He could have one leg wrapped behind his head when he's throwing the football. It's still no footwork there whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure defenders are invisible to him.
Oh, yeah, he does not see anybody.
No pocket awareness.
Yeah, he doesn't
His eternal
care.
clock is fucking
He's Rex
garbage.
Grossman. He doesn't give any shit. He doesn't give any shits. There's a defender there. Fuck it. I'm going to throw it right at him.
So just to give you guys a point of reference, he was the only player on the entire board that had a category where every single one of us ranked him under 5 and something. And it was accuracy for
This is
Tanner
fucking
Lee.
garbage.
So, for some fun, NFL players who in college were under 56% I just had a stroke.
It happens.
NFL players that were under 56% completion percentage with more than 35 picks in their college career. Ryan Lindley,
Oh, my God.
Derek Anderson,
Hey, he's okay.
Nathan
The one team.
Nathan Inderley.
Who?
Yeah. Who?
He was a third-string quarterback for the Bears for a bit.
Of course.
That's
he
why
was.
I know who he is.
Yeah, that's... Why would we know that?
And Jake Locker.
Why does Jake Locker keep coming up?
Can you just pick 8?
The best part about this, Tanner Lee hit these milestones for that low of completion percentage and that many picks in 12 fewer games than any of the people I just listed off.
Yay for
Sorry, Nebraska fans, that they hate us right now. You probably know.
No, and Stanley
Nebraska
Morgan.
fans don't like Tanner Lee either.
No, they
So they
don't.
love us right now.
Nobody likes Tanner
Welcome
Lee.
to our podcast.
Everybody
So-
hates Tanner.
To make it even better, Tanner Lee declared early.
What?
He's a redshirt
yeah,
junior.
He's a junior.
Why? Because he realized he sucked so badly. Like, he doesn't want to look worse on film?
No, he would have had better luck next year actually looking decent because next year's class is just kind of meh. But from what I've seen,
For some reason, he declared.
yeah, don't know.
Well,
All right, now let's get into tier 5.
Whew, yeah.
Brandon
Ugh.
Silvers and Logan Woodside. Dan, you for some reason are okay with Silvers, so you get to defend him.
okay.
Before you
You guys eviscerate him.
we're gonna jump all over
And it's
him.
not like, so, okay, so I watched this tape before, or I think right after I watched Woodside, Falk, and Ferguson, which...
That was
are
a mistake.
Which are my bottom 3, obviously. So when I watched Silvers, I saw some upside to him. I told Nick this really bad pun. There's 2 different sides of Brandon Silvers. He's Brandon Silvers, a guy who could maybe be a camp body. Then there's Brandon Coppers, because Copper is worse than Silver, and he's fucking garbage. I know that pun is terrible. I know. But when I went
It
back
also
and
sounds like Hopper, which is making Hopper freak out right now. Now I think he's like having a stroke.
my brain just melted.
when I watch this film back again, I watch some other games I didn't watch before. Just keep knocking him down. This like, yes, too many, like, I like to use this term. He likes to fight his own throws. Like, he likes to fight his throws. And you get to see some of his upside where he just lets the ball kind of just go naturally. And then,
I'm not high-fiving you. I have a question.
yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
So
You
try
don't
to
watch
fi-
tape next to him. He says it constantly.
I like to say it where, like, okay, so I was trying to, like, defend his own point where it's he's trying to, like, throw the ball to a certain spot with, like, decent accuracy. Like he's trying to, like, throw. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad he's not
I'm a
trying
little
to throw it
drunk.
with terrible
I'm a little
accuracy.
drunk, like,
So-
to describe this, but
To put this into actual terms here.
sure.
Yeah,
Basically,
please do.
instead of having a natural throwing motion, he's trying to make something happen, and he'll end up like short arming the pass and trying to put it through there.
So he tries to put too much touch on it.
Yeah, effectively,
Yeah,
he's not
there you
actually
go.
having a natural
Okay,
throwing motion.
I understand now. That's way better than he tries to throw it with accuracy. I'm like, yeah, most quarterbacks do. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, effectively,
When I was thinking about this, I was sober.
you were sober, yes, or silver, one of the two.
No.
Or coppers.
So-
wherever the hell that came from.
Let's talk about all the things we hate about Silvers here. His mechanics are terribly inconsistent, hence the fighting the throws. Occasionally he'll see a decent ball out of him, but the majority of the times, I believe I sent a text to you guys when I was watching his tape, and I said, I don't think he knows how to throw a football properly.
Him and Woodside.
Yeah, Woodside, I just watched one game and flipped a table.
Woodside I like more. I wrote a poem about Brandon Silvers.
All right. Hopper, the triple threat, musical composer, podcast host, and poet.
Delivery is long. Arm strength is weak. Not using a ton of words here because his outlook is bleak.
Hopper with the soliloquy. Touche.
That's all I got.
He will not end up
Not
on
a
a
lot of-
team anywhere.
Not a lot of effort for Brandon Silvers, but he doesn't deserve it.
You got more. You got more love than some of these other guys.
Yeah, and then on top of it, he's not athletic, so it's not like he has a saving grace
No,
where he can run.
he looks like he's running in quicksand.
Yeah, he makes Nathan Peterman look athletic.
And like a good passer.
I was going to say, you should generally agree with that.
I do.
And then his decision-making was questionable at best.
You won't have a chance to throw 5 interceptions in a game because you won't be.
No one will give him the opportunity.
Can't throw 5 interceptions in a game if I don't play in one.
All right, and then last and certainly least.
Oh, why?
Certainly not least.
No, definitely least.
No, Silvers is least for sure.
Okay, well, Woodside is my least.
So the things that I like about Logan Woodside aren't the type of things that are going to necessarily jump out on tape. I did notice at the combine his sideline throws and deep throws are terrible. His intermediate and short stuff to the middle of the field isn't bad. But they allowed him to adjust plays at the line, adjust his coverages, do pretty much whatever he wanted with that offense. So football IQ is at least there. He's had to grind at every single level to make it. He was never necessarily seen as good enough. He didn't have any scholarship offers. He walked on, I think, at a JUCO and then played his way into a scholarship.
He played at Toledo all 4 years.
He did. No, he walked on at Toledo is what it was.
Yeah.
And then he got scholarship offers based on that. There was some article somebody wrote about it. I don't remember for sure. Oh, he had no scholarship offers, so he just kept throwing himself into quarterback camps is what it was.
Yep.
And then eventually got Toledo to offer him something. So he just worked at it until it happened. Intermediate routes and middle of the field, he's good. Everywhere else, though, it's just kind of average. He did show a little bit of athletic ability, but with the football IQ and the drive, I think if he can somehow latch himself on to a teat someplace, get into a camp, get picked up as a UDFA, he could surprise some people because of that makeup.
Okay.
I think that he can do it.
All right, let's get into the issues with Logan Woodside.
His deep and outside throws are wobbly with a lot of air. Lower body disappears in his mechanics. He's got a loop in his delivery, which allows his throws to sail, and he's undersized.
Yeah, he's unbelievably undersized. He's 6'1" and weighs like 206.
205, 206, somewhere in there.
Yeah, he's horrendously underweight for his height, being a quarterback. And his arm strength, as you mentioned, he can't make outside or deep throws at all. And he makes pre-reads. I did see him do that. But once he actually steps back and the play starts, his decision-making is not good.
Yeah, he's not lasting on anywhere. If you can't, no.
Yeah,
Nope.
if you can't succeed in the MAC, you're not succeeding in the NFL.
If it happens.
All right. Well,
I'll do a shot if it happens.
Okay, that's what I was looking
Of
for.
his own. Like, we'll tweet at him and see if he responds. And all I would say, I
He'll
didn't
pick the
believe in
shot.
you. I didn't believe in you. You picked the shot I take for not believing in you.
I'm down with that. Logan Woodside gets to pick the shot if he latches on and even ends up on a practice squad someplace. It's publicity.
I know.
Yep.
So
We love that. Good and bad.
All right. Anything else about this quarterback class? Deeper than last year. We went way deeper in terms of the number of prospects we watched.
That's probably why it seems deeper, but I think just because of the tier 2s and 3s, I think there's a chance some of these guys could latch on and actually have some career to them.
There's a couple intriguing guys late that weren't there last year that are dart throws that could come out and actually succeed.
Yeah.
Shimonik is one of them.
Yeah, I'd take Shimonik over Brad Kaya any fucking day.
I would too. And that's what you're looking at
Brad
it
Kai's
about
been
the
like 5 teams.
but he doesn't have play action nearly as good.
Or Dobbs.
I was new.
Yeah, or Dobbs. But
Fuck Dobbs.
yeah, I would definitely take Shimonik over them. You've got Danny Etling, who is a dart throw. You've got a couple guys later in this draft that in 2 quarterback leagues are going to be worth potentially taking a flyer on.
Or
If Clinton Flowers-
super deep roster leagues.
Yeah, Quentin
Like
Flowers.
if Flowers and a guy gets hurt or two when he gets a chance to play, maybe he provides some fantasy upside for those games.
All right. Let's to put out a bow on it here. For some of these later guys, even some of the tier 2 guys, what are some of your ideal landing spots for guys who aren't going to go in the first round?
Guys that aren't going to go in the first round. So I think Mike White's the guy that goes after that. And I already kind of mentioned that I would like to see him end up, we talked about it, New Orleans, Los Angeles.
Either Los Angeles team.
Either Los Angeles team. Well, not so much.
I wouldn't mind him backing up Goff. That'd be a solid spot.
It would be, but I would like to see him have a chance to start in the near-term future. Mike White.
So Pittsburgh then?
Pittsburgh could be another one.
Because Dobbs is not the answer.
Yeah. Shimonik, I think that he could end up in a place where there's some quarterback questions, maybe. If Buffalo wanted to try and pull a 2 quarterback thing, I know they're probably going to take one early.
So if they try to do a Griffin Cousins type pairing?
Yeah, if they try to do that type of thing, though, that's...
So Jackson Shimonek going to Buffalo.
That's a place that
That could happen,
interest me.
actually. It could happen.
Yeah, there's a couple intriguing places. I haven't really put a whole lot of thought into it yet, just because I can look at where I want people to land. It's speculation. It's fun to think about.
Yeah.
But in the end, it ain't gonna fucking matter until they land there. We know enough at this point to where we're watching that draft, and we're doing that live stream on YouTube.
Oh, we're doing it again.
during the draft.
Fuck
again.
yeah, we are.
Teaser.
Well, during round 1. We don't have enough time to do all 3
we're not
rounds.
doing all
7
Just round one,
rounds.
just round
But
one.
during round 1, and even the next few rounds, I know enough about teams, about players, and about landing spots to where I'm going to know what I'm excited about and what I'm not excited about when that happens. So,
Curtis fucking Samuel.
ugh.
Stay tuned to our recap draft episodes
yeah.
coming in the future.
There'll be a lot of hype there.
And we're breaking them down into more episodes this year. We're going to do probably 4
Yeah,
instead
we
of
won't
2.
flood your guys' ears too much with them.
Well, we try to cram way too much
I
into
know.
too little.
That's what she said.
Phrasing. Boom. Pro phrasing show.
Pro Frasian's show.
All right. So any other spots that you guys want to see some QBs land?
No.
I mean, well, New England would be one. They need a QB.
Shimonik in New England would be interesting.
Shimonek, White, Laletta would be an interesting landing spot there. Litton,
Yeah.
Rudolph.
Rudolph would be
I
another
actually
one.
really like the idea of Shimonik landing there.
That would definitely be an interesting.
It's
twist
hard
on
for
that
me because I
offense.
think if Brady leaves, I think Belichick leaves, and that the whole organization is completely different. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me to want to be like, yeah, maybe he gets to play behind. No,
I mean, it's more from he'll get a shot.
because I do think New England will draft a quarterback. Like for me, it's not just landing spot. It was just
Miami.
Will they land into a spot where he gets to sit behind
Yeah.
and wait, or if he gets a chance to play right away? Like Lamar
Miami's
Jackson.
another place you could see some of these guys go.
If they don't go first round, I could see him drafting first
If someone
round.
doesn't slip, like
Yeah.
they are praying to God Baker Mayfield makes it to 11.
Or they trade up to him.
That
Or they
is
trade
more
up.
likely. If they don't trade up, I see them...
Because they want one of these guys to fall to him.
Because I don't think they reach at 11 if the top 4 are gone.
No.
Or top 5.
Maybe Jackson. Jackson's getting a lot of buzz. That's a guy.
Yeah.
He is. Just like he's getting a lot of
And that
buzz
was the
that
one
they
thought
do.
I had when I mentioned Miami and you said 11 is that Jackson might fall to them.
And that there might be 5 quarterbacks in the top 10 this year. That's nuts.
If someone falls in love with Lamar Jackson, like has his pro day happened? Has Louisville's pro day happened? Do you know?
I will have to
I have
Google.
no idea.
Because I expect him to probably run his pro day. I would hope so. As you
know.
guys heard about his bitch about it last episode.
Speaking of
When
things
I
I
did
was
at the
pissed
combine.
about, Darnold not throwing at the combine.
That too.
He did throw out his pro day, though, and looked very good.
Yeah, he did.
March 29th. So it'll be Thursday.
Okay.
So this drops Wednesday. So literally the day after this airs is when
We'll know more about Lamar Jackson and
We'll know
what
more
he
about
does
Lamar
and-
Jackson tomorrow.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on landing spots, or should we get into the weekly rant?
Let's go rant. I'm going to hit the open mic drop.
Beer Fueled Open Mic.
This seems new to me. I don't remember doing.
We started it last
Season.
last episode of last season when you were supremely intoxicated.
Okay, that's probably why.
So that's why you don't remember
That,
it.
that was the Dolphins rant, remember?
But
oh, that's right.
I think ultimately this is a good segment to wrap things up with.
Yep. I'm going to let you kick it off,
No,
Dan.
move on. I gotta think about mine. I thought it was one person ranting. So.
No, we all pick something to
Oh,
quick rant
well,
about.
shit then.
No, we're all going to quick rant about something.
All right. Well, Hopper, you usually have a rant available, and I'm assuming I know what it's about.
No, I actually am just going to spitfire here on something. I'm actually going to go to Twitter again. And look, there's going to be a lot of different takes on things coming through draft season. Be respectful. Appreciate the takes that other people give you because there's more than one way to look at numbers. Numbers aren't the whole story. A lot of guys that are going to be analysts or putting analysis out there have been watching tape that you may not have seen. Everybody can view tape differently. We all three watch the same players and have some different takes and some different views on what we see from them. So my only thing is if you have a dissenting point, state it, state it professionally, but don't let it devolve into name calling or any of that internet bullshit because there's no reason for that. The truth about the draft is nobody knows anything.
Nope.
We can watch players, we can preview players, we can think we know stuff, and then when the season starts, we don't know shit. Corey Clement, perfect example of that from last year. Deshaun Watson, another pretty good example of that. Nobody knows anything, but everybody can speculate things or paint whatever picture they want based on the numbers that they have. So be open-minded and don't be a dick. That's my rant.
Yep. You're welcome to be opinionated, but don't be an asshole about it.
Just be professional.
That didn't happen to me. It happened to somebody else. I think it was Evan Silva. I saw it retweeted. He'd been told to drink bleach and all kinds of other
Yeah,
bullshit.
don't tell
because of
anybody to go
dissenting
kill
opinions.
themselves. Otherwise, you're just
Yeah.
a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah, just because you're on social media and you're not right in front of the person doesn't give you any free license to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Be respectful. We all are going to respect whatever opinion you might have, regardless of if we agree with it or not.
I will rant about Michael Bennett
All right.
because someone needs to. And from this show,
I've
and
done it
from,
enough. I'm glad somebody
from
else is
Hopper's
taking
rants,
this.
just because I figured it's not just a softball throw. It needs to be talked about. First off, you're a fucking piece of shit. I appreciate what you do for your community. You are good on the football field. That does not give you any sort of leeway when putting your hands on an elderly woman. I don't care who the security guard was. Old, young, male or female.
Well,
Paraplegic.
and she wasn't a security guard. She was an usher.
Usher.
And-
Even fucking worse.
And paraplegic.
You lied about, what was it, in Vegas? You lied
Yeah.
about the police
The
thing?
Vegas police.
You tried to take out a center's knee
for
no
because
fucking
you
reason.
lost a football game.
because you're a piece of shit and you put your fucking hands on a woman for no fucking reason. I hope you're out of the fucking league.
He's going
For
to
good.
jail.
I fucking hope so.
I mean, there's a warrant out for his arrest at least, and it's it's a felony thing. It was a 66-year-old paraplegic that you shoved over
Yep. And he,
to get to the field.
And she was an
I think-
usher. She wasn't even a security guard.
Right.
yeah, she basically just said, you can't come this way. Go use the other
Yeah,
entrance. and he
and
shoved
he-
her over.
He
Yeah.
didn't like that answer because he's a piece of fucking shit.
So, yeah, this is, it's a bad look for him. I can't believe he's been a nominee for Man of the Year award for Walter Payton.
He's done, all right,
He's done some good work
for his community. He has.
from the race standpoint. You can't, but the Vegas thing is a bad look. The Jacksonville thing is a bad look, and this is an even worse look.
So, a lot of the work he does, though, is through a charity and a PR firm, which, while it does good work and he's putting resources to it, we've seen who he is as a person, and it does not match up with what his charity
Donating
work
money
is.
to an organization that does great things does not give you,
License to be a piece of shit.
Right.
like, you're still a piece of shit person. That's just how it goes.
So, sorry, Eagles fans.
I hope that they traded for him. They won't cut him, but they should.
and they don't have the cap room to do that.
No, they don't. Unfortunately.
Yep, and unfortunately, the Seahawks didn't know, so there's no grievance to be filed for.
Yep.
Like,
Both teams
yeah.
had no clue apparently.
Nobody knew.
All right, and my rant is just going to be actually kind of a positive one here.
No.
I just want to
rants.
give just a big shout out to the positive aspects of the social media community because we all hear so much about the negative aspects of it. But over the last couple of weeks, we've been doing a bunch of rookie mock drafts, doing a bunch of stuff for the free agency time. It's been a blast working with a lot of the other organizations out there, whether it be Top 2 Sports, FFD 260, Mitchell Rents, Loaded Box. It's been fun working with other guys in the industry to get our name out there and get a chance to participate.
Servino will get you back on too.
Yeah.
Saravino's going to get back on.
We'll start doing guests again after the draft and get more people here. But everybody's willing to help out. Everybody's willing to include everybody, and it's really been a great experience. I'm excited to get down to Dallas and actually meet some of these guys.
Oh, I'm so pumped for
Yep.
that.
Another shout out for we will be down at the fantasy.
Going to Dallas.
What's the name of the convention?
Don't look at me. I have no idea.
Whatever the fantasy convention in Dallas is.
All I know is in July.
middle of July.
Right. Yep.
We're going to be there.
We will be there, but I agree with you. I've also been in some of those rookie mocks, and it's cool to see other people's opinions. It's cool to see how other people value people instead of just the three of us. And it's just great to interact. We have multiple group chats. We interact with people on a daily basis.
Yeah, and it's not a there as you mentioned in your rant, there are people who are not so bueno on social media, but the majority of the people we've encountered with who are trying to make this either a passion project, try to break into the industry, whatever they're trying
Even
to
the
do.
fans, most of them aren't bad.
Even the majority of the fans, just thank you to all of you. This has
Yeah.
been fucking awesome.
We completely appreciate everything that you've done for us, all the retweets, all the likes, all the great discussions we've had. I've had a blast listening to a lot of you guys' podcasts because I have a lot of free time. I have a lot of opportunity at work to listen to music and podcasts when I can. And I've had a blast listening, getting to know you guys even just through your own podcast. It's just been amazing.
And when this airs, I'll be through probably a good chunk of your podcast too because it's spring break for me next week. So that means I'm taking no goddamn phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of podcasts for me.
Indeed.
So that's just the only way I wanted to finish that up is just kind of a big thank you to the people who are supportive on Twitter and other social media aspects. It's definitely not all bad to kind of boot the other side of the coin to
It's
what Hopper
mostly good, but when the bad happens, just
It's
like
ugly.
in life, it's like a lot of things. We focus more on bad than good because it affects more people. It feels like.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have the end of the show.
It is the end of the show. So that's it for quarterbacks. Deeper class than last year, just to kind of put a bow on it, but there's probably a similar amount of top tier aspects. I think it's going to be real quarterback heavy at the top of the NFL draft. Anything else you guys want to mention about it?
No, you pretty much covered it. It's going to be heavy at the top and some intriguing people a bit later on. It's a deeper class from a fantasy standpoint. In one quarterback leagues, once you get to Rosen, you're probably not going to see anybody drafted. And with two quarterback leagues, hopefully we gave you some guys to throw your pick at.
I'm pumped for the three of us to finally get to watch a draft without worrying about our team drafting a quarterback early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be nice.
I'm
That'll be
pumped
good.
because I get to finally get to see. We're Baker Mayfield fans. Obviously you guys have already known and seeing that I have a fucking man crush on the guy.
I
And
do
I am
too.
pumped to
developed one.
see where Lamar Jackson goes because his fantasy value is going to determine heavily on his landing spot, I think.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. So that's it for quarterbacks. We will catch you guys next time when we get into the big part of this class, which is going to be running backs.
Fucking can't wait.
You will hear Barkley early and often next episode, I'm assuming.
Only tier.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, he will be in a tier all
tier one.
alone.
Tier one. Easy.
So thank you
Just
so much
kidding.
for listening, guys. We'll catch you guys
Next
next time
time.
on Beer Fueled Fantasy Football.
See ya.
Later.
Peace.